Buccaneers at the Texans, Chargers, and the Raiders. Welcome, everyone, to Props and Parlays. Andy and Andrew McInnis going to be breaking down two games for Monday Night Football. And, of course, we're going to give you all the props that we have in a same-game parlay in the Chargers and the Raiders. Andrew, happy Monday. How are you, sir?
Happy Monday, Andy. Looking forward to a big night tonight with two games. What a start, early on this season. But yesterday ended up being about a split for me. So 2-0 on Thursday Night Football. Yesterday had potential to be great. The Miami Dolphins had other things to say about it. We move on to hopefully a great Monday night. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good. It's 6-5 this week, so I got two props going tonight. There is a pack up for those two props tonight, so looking for another winning week. 8-6 last week, so let's bring the profits home, baby. Let's talk this Buccaneers at Texans team or game. Texans, it looks like they have not figured out their offensive line issues as of week one here. Let's start with the passing props. Baker Mayfield, CJ Stroud. I'm going to you first. What's your take on these passing props in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to kind of steal one from you. Throwback to last year. I'm going to take the over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Baker Mayfield. And man, we're getting a really good price here. I locked in plus 122, 7 straight games he's hit this. And actually, in this particular matchup, I feel like he's going to have to throw the ball a lot more, and I don't really expect to see many rushing touchdowns. Houston's going to make it tough for them on the goal line and make it tough for them in the red zone, and I feel like Houston's going to get some points, so I think the Bucs are going to have to throw the ball quite a bit, and we're going to see Baker potentially down early on. So over 1.5 passing touchdowns is a look for me. You mentioned last week, and you were spot on about this, about looking at in-game props sometimes for these passing props for the attempts. I feel like it could be a good day for that for Baker Mayfield. You know, if you do see Houston go ahead early, which I'm kind of projecting it that way, and you see them trying to run the ball, the Buccaneers early on, and then maybe it's not working, they're going to have to abandon the run and throw the ball. So maybe an in-game look towards the passing attempts look there for Baker Mayfield. But that's all I have for the passing one here for this game.
I think this game is going to be really close. The line is less than a field goal. I guess it's the home field that makes Houston the favorite here, but I'm going to CJ Stroud over 21.5 completions. I think this Tampa run defense is really good. They only allowed 2.9 yards per rush last week, and Penix was 27-42 against Tampa last week. CJ Stroud had a pretty pedestrian game. Nico Collins was a terrible disappointment for fantasy owners and for props on the overs last week. And I think at home, primetime game, they got to fix that. And this is the way to do it against Tampa. You go after their secondary. So I'm looking at Stroud to get over 21.5 completions. They have to figure out how to protect him. But again, Tampa really good against the rush. They struggle against the pass. That's the method of victory for Houston tonight. So. But I'm with you on that Baker. Plus money on Baker to throw 2 touchdowns. Yeah. That's all he does. So I'm with you 100% on that one. Let's move to the receiving props here. Coming to you again. If you like Baker, what receivers are we looking at here?
I just wanted to say that you mentioned last week about Jacoby Myers, and I think that he's going to be just an absolute stud every single week. So his number, I think, is a little bit low when we get to that game. I thought that was ridiculously low. We'll get to that, but I had that just on my page.
We're gonna get to my Jacoby Myers in the next.
Sorry,
game,
that just popped up on my page, but that is ridiculous there to look at. But the first guy I'm looking at, we're throwing it back with the old reliable with Mike Evans. I actually bet the alt number at 80 plus yards at plus 140. I just think right now he's going to be the most consistent guy for them. I think this Houston Texans defense, their secondary, can get exposed. And I expect them to actually do, last year they were about middle of the pack for both categories, against the rush and against the pass. But with Baker Mayfield and with Mike Evans, I think that he does a really good job of feeling comfortable with him, throwing the level of consistency. It's not always going to be a deep ball. It's not always going to be the most exciting and flashy play, but he's good for one big play per game, it seems. And for me, the target number he gets is very consistent. So I got 80 plus yards at plus 140. The other one I looked at for this game actually was Dalton Schultz. I think he's going to be targeted. I think that the tight end position will be a position that they can do well against with this Buccaneers team. And Stroud, I think last year, after a couple games, got a lot more comfortable with him. So hopefully he can kind of be that security blanket over the top and they can drive the field that way. and get to Schultz. But I've got no unders with receiving because I do actually think we'll see some points in this game.
Dalton Schultz was number one on my list, actually, over 36.5 receiving. Schultz had only 28 last week, but Pitts had 7 catches for 59 yards against Tampa. So we've already seen one tight end get a lot of volume and have success and go over. So, yeah, I like Dalton Schultz as well. I'm going to take an under here on Ibuka under 4.5 receptions. I know he's the new shiny toy and caught 2 touchdowns, but he only had 4 catches last week. And I love your call on Mike Evans because if Houston is able to put pressure on Baker Mayfield, which they have injuries on the offensive line in Tampa, his safety blankets are going to be Mike Evans, maybe Cade Otton, maybe the running backs. Ibuka seems more like the big play guy that they're looking for, 1 or 2 big catches out of. But, when Baker has pressure, who's he looking for? He's looking for the familiar faces and the numbers that he likes throwing to. I could see some shorter passes. I could see some crossing routes from Evans, Cade Otton, running backs. But Ibuka, 3 or 4 catches, but can he get to 5? That seems like an awful lot to me. So I will take the under on that one, a contrarian play for sure, as I'm sure nobody's excited playing under. No one's playing under on that guy tonight. So I think we're getting a good value here.
Would you take Bucky Irving over on receptions, Andy? That's what I actually wanted to ask you about because, look, I'm not sure your opinion. We're going to get to it in about 30 seconds with the rushing here, but we all know the Buccaneers defense. Do you think they're going to be? Do you think they're going to have to catch the ball quite a bit? I mean, do you think that Bucky Irving, based on the matchup here for Houston, do you think they're going to have to catch the ball quite a bit? I think Bucky Irving could be utilized in the pass catching game this week a lot more.
Yeah, where was Rachaad White? What happened to him last week? It was the Bucky Irving show. So until further notice, yeah, I think we're gonna have to say, hey, Bucky's the guy, and Rachaad White maybe not. This is kind of looks like what's going on in the New England Patriots backfield, where it was like, oh, we got Travion Henderson, and like, nope, it's Ramondre Stevenson's job. It's like, okay, I guess we got to depend on this guy. And it looks like the Bucky Irving show. It's only one game. But, yeah, I expected Rachaad White to be more of the third down back and catch a lot of passes, and that just wasn't the case. So, yeah, Bucky Irving, I'm going to stick to it. I think Houston can get pressure on Baker. I think Baker's going to have to throw short. Bucky Irving could be the big benefactor of that one. So I wouldn't talk you off of any of those bets. Let's move to the running backs and some rushing. I mean, Nick Chubb is the unquestioned starter here, which is just amazing. Good for him. I'm going under 13.5 rush attempts here, Andrew. Tampa, again, only allowed 2.9 yards per carry. Chubb had 13 carries last week. I just expect this to be a C.J. Stroud type of game. I would also expect them to try and mix in some more running backs. I know they did a decent job of not overloading Chubb, but again, you have to treat Nick Chubb with kids' gloves at this point. I mean, if he's your unquestioned starter right now, you can't be running him into the ground. So I would say 10 to 12 attempts is what I would be looking at for him. So this 13.5 seems just a bit too high. So I'm going to go under on that. I think my favorite rushing prop, Andrew, is Baker over 16.5. This guy had 5 rushes for 39 yards last week. He's not scared to take off and run if he gets flushed out of the pocket. And with this banged-up offensive line of Tampa, I think there's going to be pressure up the middle. Don't be surprised to see Baker roll outside and get at least one long run. But this 16.5 seems way too low for a guy that rushed 5 times for 39 yards last week. Where are you going with running back props here, Andrew?
I like that because it can equally work for both of us. So I like the rushing attempts prop for Baker. A lot of the plays I like for the rushing categories for this game is just the attempts. And what kind of scares me, Andy, is I like the under on both of these RBs. I like Bucky Irving under 16.5 attempts, and I like Nick Chubb under the 13.5. Particularly because I do think we could see Bucky Irving in the short pass catching game, which will obviously take away some of the rushing attempts there. But we talk about it there with Chubb. I think that he's going to be shut down completely. I think we know what the Buccaneers are really good against, and that is the rush. And I think that they're going to realize it right away and probably go against it. Maybe early on in the first quarter, he'll get some touches. But also one of the reasons for the Bucky Irving under is because what you just mentioned. I mean, if you have a crowded running back room, if you have a couple different options to run the ball there, it's taking away opportunities for you. And when your number is at 16.5, if you have a couple plays, I mean, every week we see people on social media complaining because it was a goal line play and their guy in fantasy didn't get to punch it in. It was somebody else that ran in, or they're bringing in a short yardage back. That's what can hurt him a little bit. And the Baker Mayfield one, you're right. I mean, 5 rushing attempts and puts off a handful of yards last week, but I still don't think he's that athletic. Like he's got the dog in him, but
oh, come on.
I'll prefer to go with the over 3.5 attempts because Andy, when I'm watching the game,
Shots
I don't have
fired. That's our guy. Baker's our guy's not that athletic.
I don't have to care what he does though. That's the best part. Like when you bet the attempts, he could literally run 1 yard and get destroyed, and it doesn't matter to me. Just pass that line of scrimmage, and it counts.
What is happening here? Andrew, you're complimenting him and insulting in the same sentence. What is this?
That's all I'm saying. Is that I feel more comfortable with the over 3.5 attempts here with this guy.
All right. I did not expect to start off the morning with Baker Mayfield love and hate, Andrew.
Hey, I said the whole 1.5 touchdown passes is plus money. All right, I'm going with some with that. But
now, how is he going to throw 2 touchdowns with no athleticism?
He's got a good arm. He's got a good arm.
Just to rehash this, the receptions thing, Andrew, I went back and looked. So Bucky Irving only had 8 yards receiving, but he had 4 catches. And they have this line at 2.5 this week. And Rachaad White, 1 catch. 1 catch and 2 carries for Rachaad White. So he was not involved in the slightest. What's a miscellaneous prop for everyone tonight? I mean, Fairbairn, the kicker for Houston, you can just take 2+ made field goals every single week. This is an offense that can sputter when he gets inside. He made 3 last week. This is just a rinse and repeat. Just play it every week. He's probably going to hit 11 times this year. So as long as you're getting a pretty decent price on it, it's just don't even have to research it. Don't have to overthink it. Just put in Houston's field goal kicker to make over 1.5 field goals. Did you have any miscellaneous props in this one? Anytime touchdown scores, anything like that?
Well, I was saying to you with the Sunday Night Football game, I wish I had some field goal props, that's for sure. I have no touchdown bets, but if I were, I think I missed last week with the TJ Hawkinson with the anytime touchdown. I think I'd probably go back to the tight end tonight and go with Dalton Schultz. So that's kind of what I would look for, but I have not bet that with my money.
Yeah, plus 265 is pretty good. Kate Otten plus 380. Someone, you know what's interesting here? So Mike Evans plus 155, Igbuka plus 175, Kate Otten plus 380. We both like Baker to throw 2 touchdowns. Someone's got to catch it.
One.
Like right, yeah. One of those guys, sprinkle a couple. If he throws 2, you're going to cash at least one of them. You're getting plus money on all those. So I like those anytime touchdown props. Andrew, I know you got a promo code for a big play tonight. Congratulations, you hit your one last week. So let's make that 2 big plays in a row. Monday Night Football. What do you have up for everyone?
Yeah, this is my first play of the week 2 with a play 4% or higher. So I got a 4% play team total going tonight. Obviously 2 games. Looking forward to it. Promo code, very simple. Save 10. That will take $10 off tonight's best bets. So looking forward to it. 6-1 run going into tonight on NFL best bets. That's, of course, 4% and 5% plays combined. Looking forward to cash this. I've had this play up for about 3 or 4 days now. Monday Night Football team total best bets. So code SAVE10, guys. Get you involved. Take $10 off the pass. So, Andy, as you mentioned, for yourself, you said looking forward to another winning week. Remind people what you have going these days. Oh, we want to hear you, Andy.
Sorry. I got 2 props up for tonight. We're 14-11 so far this season on props. So we get 2 tonight, and we are really, really happy. So pretty decent day yesterday, 6-5. Can't really complain about that. Pretty much a wash. But 2 props that we absolutely love. I stayed away from the Monday night game last week because any play that I put up, I'm betting with my own money. So if I have plays that I like, I'm betting it and I'm putting them up. If we don't have plays like, we're not going to put them up. So we stayed away from Monday Night Football. Tonight we got 2 best props. So go ahead and grab those. I believe we got 1 in each game. So root on 1 in the first game, root on the second. In the next one, let's make it a 2-0 night. 1 pack, 2 props. Get there with the wt.buzz/AL over at WagerTalk.com. Chargers and the Raiders here, Andrew. Let's start with the passing props. Chargers, pass heavy in week one. That was a different from their MO last year. They're favored here on the road against Vegas. 47, a little bit of a higher total for a Chargers game than what we saw last year, I feel like. So are there going to be points? Are we going back to Herbert with a big passing attack, or what are you doing with passing props?
Yeah, so I know this doesn't really help my case. I was planning on saying this today and until the Patriots actually had a decent game here, but I think we need to be honest about what the Patriots are. And at least for me, I'm not as high on them as some people might have been going into the season. So looking at that Raiders victory they had in week one, I wasn't really as impressed with it. Now, how's their defense? Do we like their defense? Can we be impressed with Geno Smith putting up, 300 plus yards? Well, maybe we can be impressed with that. And I think in order to go toe to toe with this Chargers team, you probably do have to throw the ball. You probably do have to put some points up on the board. They're going to try and mix in their run game, but I think you look towards Geno Smith. We always call week two overreaction week, and it certainly can be from a prop perspective and not just from a point spread perspective or a side perspective. I don't expect him to get 360 yards against the Chargers, but at the 242 number that I'm seeing right now, I'd look towards the over with Geno Smith. As far as Justin Herbert, I didn't hit this one last week with Caleb Williams, and I think he should have if he didn't overthrow like a bunch of people. But you can tell I'm not too upset about that one. I would look towards the longest completion for Justin Herbert because I think he is still absolutely airing it out. And I also look towards the attempts here. As you mentioned, they didn't run the ball nearly that much last week. And I'll tell you what, against KC, it looked like Justin Herbert played smart. I mean, it looked like he made the right decisions, like even using his legs. Like when a play was broken down, he, ran for 6 or 7 yards. The old Justin Herbert would have thrown like a 75-yard like prayer, hoping the player can catch it. I mean, this team to me seemed like a really smart LA Chargers team. And obviously I know it's week one, but I was pretty impressed there. So, but I do think, Andy, what do you think about Geno Smith? Like, I think that we could see him, throw the ball a ton, especially in this matchup against the Chargers. And I think they can give up some yards through the air. You don't want to overreact to anything, but I think, he's not going to get 300 yards, but hey.
You and I are on the same read on this one because I have his over attempts at 33.5. He had 34 last week. You mentioned, their opponent last week, but Mahomes had 39 attempts against this Chargers team, and I think the Chargers are really good. Again, we talk about overreacting in week one, but I just think they're really good. I think Harbaugh has this team exactly where he wants them, and I think they're going to be up. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raiders abandon the running game. I mean, we'll get to Genti in the rushing props, but they were terrible last week, and if that running game isn't working, they're going to have to line back and throw big time. I wouldn't even mind if you can get some alts on Geno Smith over attempts. I think this could be he's got to throw most of the second half. So I'm with you on the over yards. I'm with you on the Geno Smith having to be a big part of the offense. I just don't see a scenario where the Raiders get up and then they're running out the clock in the second half and Geno's not throwing it all over the place. So, 33.5 attempts over the passing yards. I'm with you 100%. I can't figure out what to do with Justin Herbert. I need to wait one more week and see if this is going to be what they do. Where they kind of got away from the running a little bit because they knew Najee was still banged up, and the eye is not 100%. I think he had like just a couple carries last week, and they do have a rookie running back that they don't want to be depending on. So if you're the Chargers and going, hey, we're thin in the backfield, let's have our amazing quarterback throw it all over the place. So I need to see it one more week before I'm willing to invest money in Justin Herbert overs. So, all right, let's talk our guy. Let's go to the receivers. And Andrew, let's talk Jacoby Myers, criminally undervalued and underrated. I said if this is less than 70, I want to take it, and they give us 60.5. I'm in. I mean, I'm in on Jacoby Myers. I'll let you talk about him. I've already said my piece on my love for Jacoby.
Yeah, I almost dove into him on the last game there. But, I mean, the end of the day is you're trying to figure out who the number one option is going to be. Who are these guys going to be here? I mean, looking at what he was able to do last week, 7 catches, 62 yards. But to me, is the 9 targets that I was really impressed with. I mean, that's a lot. And the fact that you want to look at yards, I can respect that as well at this number that we're seeing, Andy, but also the receptions number, 5.5 and shaded juice towards the under. I mean, to me, I expect him to get right back to it. I think he's been a reliable guy. And it always seems like these storylines work out well. Oh, guy wants to trade, guy's not happy, goes out and balls out. Like, it's like he's trying out for other teams right now while he's playing for the Raiders. He's not even playing for his own team. But if I like Geno Smith over on his passing yards, this to me is not an overreaction. I think that right now Myers is one of the most reliable guys on the team. You want to look at yards, you can look at the yards. You want to look at receptions. I think it should be 6.5 plus money to the over here, but we're seeing 5.5 shaded to the under. I'm going to take the over 5.5 for him there on that one. And also I wanted to mention, I think Quentin Johnston's going to be a guy as well. I mean, this is a guy that was struggling to catch a ball before, and now he's become a little bit more reliable here. Solid opener for him. I think is going to be a big part of the team. And the Raiders secondary seem to struggle quite a bit. So I feel like he's going to be someone that gets targeted quite a bit once again. I'll look towards him this week.
Yeah, I was also trying to figure out what to do with Keenan Allen. Like on one hand, you were like, oh man, he's old and they just signed him for veteran leadership. And then all of a sudden he looks amazing and he's wide open and he's just running across the field and he looks healthy. His number's at 51.5. So the books are saying, no, he's back. This is the Keenan Allen of old. Do we just play him until he gets hurt, Andrew? Like, if he's healthy, do we say this guy's good enough to be a starter and a guy that we can trust on the overs? Do we get maybe a few weeks out of him until his age starts showing or his injuries? I mean, 51.5 is not a small number, but, he looked incredible last week.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I feel like this is one of those things. Bet it now. Why wait until week 6 to be like, yeah, this guy's doing pretty well this year? Might as well do it early in the season. So, I mean, yeah, like looking at what he did in week 1, the key word we can use, which is the cliche here, Andy, is chemistry. I mean, obviously he has talent. Obviously he is who he is. But when you have a quarterback that knows who his guy is, knows who he can go to, I don't really care what year it is. I don't care where we are in the season. I feel like he's going to go to him. He's going to target him. My question is, with him, would you look towards yards or receptions? Something tells me it's more of a yards type of play with him.
Yeah, it's a great question. 10 targets last week. He caught 7 passes. He had 68 yards. So, I mean, you do have you got your 51.5, but if he's going to get 10 targets again, then you're just looking at receptions.
Okay.
So I think if you're playing him, if he hits one, he's going to hit the other. Looking up his receptions, number right now. Yeah, 4.5. It's a little juicy to the over, but actually I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go to the receptions instead of the yards. 5 catches is absolutely doable for him. When you got Ladd McConkey and now Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen, there's just a lot of weapons, and there's guys that are going to be open, and Keenan Allen just knows how to get open. He's been there, done that. He's seen it all. He knows the system really well, and you mentioned it, Andrew. He's got good chemistry. So, yeah, give me the over on the receptions. It's minus 137 on DraftKings, but I'll take it. Let's move to rushing here. I'll get us started here. We talk about rushing and receiving. I'm going to jump to this category because I want the under on Ashton Genty. I want under 91.5. This guy had 38 yards rushing, 2 receiving last week, and the Chargers were good against the running backs last week. Granted, it was the Chiefs who doesn't really seem to know what they're getting or what they can get out of the running backs. But Andrew, we like Geno Smith. We both think the Chargers are going to be up. I would take the minus 3.5 on the points. I think they go go on the road and get a really big win. I just don't trust Ashton Genty until I've seen it, and not just once, but I need to see it a couple times. This is a brand new team, coaching staff, running back, quarterback. Like, it's going to take them a while to gel and figure it out, and I just don't see a 91.5 combined. I do want both categories because I just don't see both. I don't see him doing good in both. If he's going to do good, it's going to be because of like a good play in one category. So I want Ashton Genty under 91.5 rushing and receiving. What do you think about rushing props?
Now that I hear you say that, I think I like that more than me just liking the rushing yards under for Ashton Genty. That's kind of where I was looking, but I like that explanation from you there. I think it's just nice to get a little bit of a higher number. But like I said, they're going to have to throw the ball against this Chargers team. The Chargers are going to put up some points. I feel like they're going to have to eventually abandon the run game a little bit. And when you start getting frustrated with the run game and you have a young running back like that, you're going to have to start with those short passes. So I'd look towards that. A lot of the data tells me that Geno Smith isn't much of a runner. That he's not going to be the runner. But if we're going to take the under on the running back, I think my kind of contrarian play here is going to be the over 7.5 yards for him. He had 10 yards last week, whatever that means to you against the Patriots. But I think he's going to have to be passing a lot, standing in the pocket, trying to escape pressure. And with that, I think if we give him a couple attempts, he could get over that number. So I'll look towards that. But I do like the Genty under. And I'll tell you what, I mean, when you look around and you look at Justin Herbert, I feel like he's constantly underrated as far as his legs. I mean, the guys that
I agree.
I know I made jokes about Baker Mayfield, but with Justin Herbert, he does it like only when it's needed. Like he's not going to like absolutely blow your mind with a huge run, but we saw at the end of last week when he sealed the game against the Chiefs, it was like, I don't know, like a 9 or 10 yard run to kind of like captivate the game. I feel like that's all this guy needs is 1 or 2 of those to get over the number 17.5. So probably look towards that. The Geno Smith one, that's kind of just me trying to be a little contrarian, but it's more so taking the under on Genty. So, maybe the quarterback will do some running as well.
Well, what you love about that low number on Geno Smith is it's just one broken play. I mean, we saw Dak Prescott in overtime when, it breaks down, he runs up the middle, and all of a sudden all the defenders' backs are to him and he runs for 20 yards. Something it happens all the time. So Geno just needs one of those plays on that low number. That's what you love about those low numbers. Anytime touchdowns here in this one. I mean, Justin Herbert threw 3 touchdowns last week, and you get Ladd McConkey at plus 155. You get Keenan Allen at plus 235. Quentin Johnston at plus 225. I mean, Keenan Allen's the same price as Najee Harris, who barely played last week. Seems weird. If I'm looking at touchdowns, I'm looking at these wide receivers. They seem mispriced in both of these games. If we expect passing from Tampa and from the Chargers, like that's where the touchdowns are going to go. Do you like any other props in this game?
The Chargers, I mean, Ladd McConkey for me, I just feel like it's a good number. He gets targeted so much, and if you're a fantasy football owner of Ladd, you're pretty excited about how much he's getting targeted in the red zone. So I'd look towards him. Plus 155, I think, is a good target. I love the shout out to Najee Harris. Like, imagine he goes in at plus 235, gets a TD, but gets like 15 rushing yards on the day. He just punches one in.
5. 2 carries, 5 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
The Jerome Bettis special.
It could happen.
Yeah. All right. We're going to build a same game parlay in this one. So leave a comment below. You guys know we love seeing what props you're doing. So Andrew and I are going to build a really good same game parlay. Hopefully we can get this thing to 10-1.
We'll start with the Raiders one.
Yeah, let's do the Raiders and Chargers game. So, and while we're doing this, guys, please hit the like button. Really helps the YouTube algorithm out. Lets us know we're doing a good job for you. We read all the comments that you post down there. We read all your props, and so keep it up. You guys did fantastic last week. Great comments and some really good bets in there. So, all right, Andrew, I will get us started here. I mean, we got to go to Jacoby Myers, so I want to get us started with a real juicy one. Give me 100 yards for Jacoby Myers at plus 357. I could see a big second half from him. He just missed 100 yards last week, but the targets, he caught damn near all of his targets. So I'll take Jacoby Myers to get us started at 100 yards at plus 357. What's your piece?
Let's go Geno, over 250 plus yards here. I'm going to say plus 110 average price on that one. They're going to have to throw the ball quite a bit. We both like Ash and Genty under on the rushing yards. I feel like the Chargers are going to put up some points. They're going to make this Raiders team have to be exciting. And we're going to find out whether it was, hey, we played well against a Patriots team that didn't have much offense last week, so they had the ball a lot, or we played well because we have a pretty decent offense. So we're going to see. It's also a home game for them. They're going to want to put on a show and not play, boring football, you'd think, even though for the most part, a win is a win. It's like over 250 for Geno.
I'm with you. I'm going to go to Justin Herbert's passing. I'm going to take him over 270 yards. This is a guy that only completed 25 passes and yet had 318 yards. Guys were running wide open. We had long catches of 33 from Quentin Johnson, 23 from Ladd McConkey, 33 from Tyler Conklin. So they got some big chunks here, and I'm not sold on this Raiders defense. So, all right. So far we have Jacoby Myers, 100+ receiving, Geno Smith, 250 passing, Herbert, 270 passing. We're already at 10-1. What's our final piece here?
All right, this one's kind of interesting, and I know it kind of goes against what we've been saying about having points in this game, but I feel like both teams are going to have good drives. Both teams are going to have opportunities to get the ball, and I like throwing some different things at you, Andy. So both teams to have a field goal in this game longer than 33 yards. I think we're going to see points in this game. Both teams, instead of taking over 3.5 field goals, both teams to have a field goal longer than 33 yards here. This is the one. I feel like we're going to see a kind of more conservative start from both coaches, not going for it on fourth too much. We'll see that maybe in the second half, but we're going to see field goals at least early on.
I don't know if this is even an option for me to put in.
You can add in, I'm pretty sure.
Special teams props.
Go to kicking props.
I'm at special teams. See, in the same game parlay, they don't have kicking ones. Can we do?
All right, give me Ladd McConkey touchdown, anytime touchdown.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I like.
I wanted to throw in a kicking prop there.
All right, anytime touchdown, we're going Ladd McConkey. That's 23-1. We could do some damage with that.
And honestly, that one doesn't really seem too crazy. Like, it doesn't really seem like too crazy at all.
No, it's pretty good. So Myers 100+, Geno over 250, Herbert over 270, Ladd McConkey anytime touchdown, 23-1. Great job, graphics department. They did that impromptu, live on the fly.
Come on.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, most important thing I think we do on the show is do our look-aheads. So we go through just the games for next week and see what props we're looking at here. So we'll start with Thursday, Dolphins, Bills. Andrew, I'm in on the Dolphins props. I think their passing game kind of got back on track a little bit. I think this could be a shootout. I don't care how the Bills looked on defense yesterday. The Jets laid an egg. I don't believe this Bills defense is going to be healthy. So I'd look at Tua and Tyreek Hill. What are you looking at in this one?
You know, one thing I always give you credit for, Andy, I learned from you, is that when you lose on a prop, don't be scared to go back to it the next week. Week 1, I lost on Tyreek Hill receiving yards. Week 2, I went back to it. Unfortunately, I also had the Dolphins. I'll mention for the third time, so that didn't make me happy. But I'll tell you what, A-chain receptions or receiving yards, like, no matter what position they are in the game, I feel like, you know, eventually it's kind of like, okay, we can't just run the ball up the gut for 2 yards. They want to create some offense here. And if it's not going to be Waddle or Tyreek downhill, it seems like A-chain's starting to be more of a receiving back as well. So, well, he has been in the past, but he had some great breakout plays. And there was that one at the end of the game yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, where they stepped out of bounds and everybody was like, no, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. They show the replay. Literally his foot was like 5 feet out of bounds, but they're definitely checking the ball down quite a bit. So I would look towards kind of those short yardage guys, receptions as well.
James Cook, anytime touchdown, rinse and repeat. Your Packers and Browns, Joe Flacco over his pass attempts, just that's a rinse and repeat. What do you like about that game?
Yeah, number one, that one just has to be a play every time. I'm almost like upset seeing that hit just because I didn't bet it this week. But anybody who else got on it, I can be happy for them a little bit with that one. Tucker Kraft, big week for him. 8 or 6 receptions, a ton of targets here. But what I'm going to look for him, if it's available, and any tight ends really, and Musgrave as well, is the longest reception. A lot of teams use their tight ends as kind of like that safety valve. The Packers use their tight ends like in the opposite method. They use their tight ends as like the big play guys. So he had one long one, I think, for 40 yards on Thursday night. So I'll look towards that.
Colts and the Titans, I guess I got to be a believer in Daniel Jones, the passer. This guy has 588 yards so far.
Good luck.
He's going up against the Titans. The Titans are basically a props wasteland. They're really not getting much done. So the only way I can look at this is Daniel Jones and his passing props over. Anything on this game?
I have not bet anything in those two teams all seasons long so far. So, no, I have nothing in that game.
Bengals and Vikings, I'm not scared to go back to the receivers. Jake Browning will throw the ball a ton. Sometimes it'll go to his team, sometimes it'll go to the other team, but he will throw the ball a ton. I'm not going to be scared about T. Higgins and Jamar Chase props. That game could be 38-35. Vikings, I don't know what to do with the Vikings. I throw away last night's game. J.J. McCarthy had a baby. He and his wife had a baby on Thursday. That's crazy. That he's playing on Sunday. So I don't pay attention to the Vikings last night. You like anything in that game?
So you and I last week talked about Adam Thielen together. Talked about whether it was the receptions or yards to go under. And it's pretty cool because I actually had two friends that I was planning on watching the game with that night. And they were searching up for props. They found our show. And my friends don't always watch my content. And they found our show. And they were like, without telling me, they're like, oh, I watched your show. I wanted to know before you said anything to me in person, like what you thought. So one of my buddies was like the biggest Thielen believer last week. And he had zero. I'm pretty sure he had a donut, right? And then yesterday, hey, came back to life a little bit here. And so I think that when you look at JJ, yeah, a little bit, not a lot. But I think when you look at JJ McCaffrey, I think they're going to have to see him kind of establish some players like that to be able to have success. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might be interested in looking at Adam Thielen props next week because it can't just be. And even remember when I don't know if you probably saw the clip, like when they had Justin Jefferson mic'd up, he's like, "We got to get you some completions, bro. We got to get you kind of into the game a little bit." I think Thielen is that guy for him. Like, just like, hey, you're not going to do much special, but like, let's get him involved and like move the chains a little bit. That's what Thielen's going to be used for. So maybe look towards that. Browning, I feel like it's like the Andrew typical play for looking at attempts with like a backup quarterback. But I just feel like yesterday is going to be a one-off. Like he made some nice throws yesterday, but you already know they're not going to be giving him the Joe Burrow game plan. It's going to be super simplistic. Yeah. So wouldn't be shocked to look at the attempts.
Steelers, Patriots, I can't get there on anything. Maybe some Jalen Warden receptions props, but I can't figure out either of these teams. That's a pass for me. You?
Patriots are going to be frustrating because they're spreading the ball around pretty well. So I haven't jumped in quite yet on them. Maybe find some guys to look towards unders on. But yeah, there's just a very, very spread out offense. So nothing in that game.
Rams and Eagles, Dan, producer, you already know what we're going to in this game. Just rinse and repeat, Andrew. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown, just every single week. That you could retire off that play. You could retire off that bet. Just you don't have to bet anything else. Just Jalen Hurts, you're going to hit it 80% of the time. Rams, I have no idea what's going on with the Rams props-wise. I guess it's Puka and nothing. What do you like in that game? Anything?
I like Jalen Hurts to throw 30 passing yards and the team put up 25 points. Where's Dan? Get on here, Dan. No, you know what's funny is I actually think in this game they're going to throw I'll go with Jalen Hurts over. I feel like everybody, including myself, that makes jokes is going to be looking towards his under because how strong the running game is and the defense can be. But I think this is a good matchup for him to get some some yards through the air. So I might look towards Jalen Hurts on his passing yard. He had like 98 yards most of the game, and then he ended up with like 101. Like, shout out to Chris Jones, man.
I have never seen a quarterback take more flack for winning than that man. It's unbelievable. Jets and Buccaneers. We'll see how the Bucs go tonight. Jets, you can't do anything with this game until you know Justin Fields' status. So Raiders, Commanders. I will be on Jaden Daniels. Played maybe the top defense in the league. They get an extra rest. I'll take Jaden Daniels props. Raiders, Commanders for you, Andrew?
Yeah, I don't like betting on my own teams across a lot of sports, and sometimes I should and sometimes I shouldn't. I released a play on the Packers. I think their defense is much better than they were giving credit for. Their offense is obviously good, but they have a good defense. I think the Commanders bounce back. Look, sometimes I put in, we call props, our team totals props. We call them totals. I'd be looking towards potentially a Commanders team total in this one. Bounce back after kind of a subpar offensive performance.
All right, we'll speed it up through these last ones. Falcons, Panthers, Bijan all day.
Yep, I'm with you. At the end of the day, I think we have to look towards attempts for Penix because right now the consistency downfield is not looking very good.
Texans and Jaguars. I got nothing in this game. Jags are a mess. Absolute mess right now. I can't figure out any props in this one.
Give me T-Law over on interceptions.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I missed that one. Absolutely. Saints and Seahawks. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Can they put this line high enough against the Saints?
What about Raheem? How do you? Sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Raheem Shaheed, is it? Is that how you?
Yeah, okay.
Rashid, yeah.
Taking his over.
Yeah, he's a guy I drafted in one of my fantasy leagues in like one of the last rounds, but I'm like, when am I ever going to start this guy? Well, even though teams are bad teams still have to have guys perform well, and Chris Olave and Shaheed are both, putting up points, so maybe he could be a guy to look at.
Cowboys and Bears, I'll go back to it again. Caleb Williams, he threw an interception. That's his second interception in 13 games. I'll just go Caleb back to no interceptions. And Cowboys, I like what I saw from Pickens. I think the more chemistry he and Dak get, the better he's going to be. So I'd look for Pickens overs. Cowboys, Bears, anything, Andrew?
Nothing for me in that one there. I think we need to see Caleb Williams look towards kind of like simplifying the game, because like you mentioned it, even though it didn't hit this time, there was with the interception stops because he's always overthrowing guys. I feel like they're going to try and establish him into the game. So maybe the Ben Johnson that we know might be a little bit different, realizing he doesn't have the Lions and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff. So maybe we see more of a simplified offense, maybe some checkdowns, maybe some shorter plays for him this week.
Rome Odunze may have cemented himself as the number one on that team with his performance yesterday. He looked really, really good. So, Cardinals and 49ers, James Conner.
That's bad for them, by the way. If he's the number one guy, I don't think that's good for them. So.
That's good. James Conner just keeps scoring touchdowns. We keep writing him off every week. I'll just go back to James Conner to score a touchdown. The guy he just seems to do it every week.
Nothing for me in that one.
Chiefs, Giants, unders on the running backs. What is going on with Pacheco? The Giants, I will say, Malik Neighbors, I think, may be matchup proof. He looked incredible. I made some incredible throws, and I think the Chiefs go into the Giants and lay the smackdown, even though I don't know who they're throwing to. But give me Neighbors to have a big second half.
I'm going to say Pacheco over on rushing yards. I think that he had 10 carries, for 22 yards. 10 carries for 22 yards. And in this matchup they have this week's going to be a hell of a lot easier than the matchup they just faced yesterday. So I'll look towards a rushing prop for the Chiefs.
Lions and Ravens. Good Lord. Everything over, game over, all props over. If I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs over his receiving.
I like that one as well. I like him. I think that good luck losing anytime touchdown bets in that game. If you can't find an anytime touchdown score in that game, you're in the wrong business with that one. Maybe look at something for Montgomery as well. He's been in the mix. I remember years ago when you and I were just started doing this show, I would look towards Kareem Hunt as a secondary option on the Browns with Nick Chubb. If Nick Chubb would go off for 100+ yards, to be blowing a team out, you look towards Kareem Hunt. This to me could be that secondary option type of game.
Love it. Love it. All right. That's going to do it for us. Andrew, tell them one more time about your 4% best bet that's up tonight.
6-1 run with plays graded 4% or 5%. Best bet been loaded for a handful of days. This is a team total. One team total that I have kind of identified as a really good matchup here for Monday Night Football. You guys can jump on this, or you can go to my page and buy 1 week pass for a really great deal. Get everything that I'm betting: CFL, MLB, NFL, and much more. But take $10 off with that promo code SAVE10, guys. Don't miss it. Let's have a great night.
2 props are up for me tonight, 1 in each game. We're 14-11 so far this NFL season, so looking to make it 2-0 tonight. 1 pack, 2 props. Let's keep the profits rolling in. Thanks so much. Don't forget to leave a comment with your best prop on the Monday Night Football games tonight. Hit the like button. Good luck on your plays, and we'll see everyone next week on Props and Parlays.